We were created by an enabling statute in 1938. Our official legal title is a public body, corporate, and politic, which probably doesn't mean a lot to anyone, but believe it or not, that's what we are. We are not funded by the city. We are not funded by the state. We are funded almost exclusively by the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Now, with regard to the city, like all other citizens, nonprofits, we can apply for grants, and we do. So oftentimes we'll apply for home monies, CDBG monies, and neighborhood stabilization monies, and the city has graciously awarded us many grants with that. But that's our real connection to the city today. The other connection is when we are applying for a development project, we have to get approval from the mayor of the city to go forward with the project. So oftentimes Richard Beelan will get a call from us and we'll say, can we get in to see Mayor Littlefield? We want to run through the project with him. And then he has to sign off per HUD requirements. Additionally, when we apply for some of our softer grants, our ROS grants, Resident Opportunity and Self-Sufficiency, we have to work with Ms. Beverly Johnson's department and get her signature on grant applications to show that our grant applications are consistent with your city, our city's consolidated plan. I want everyone to know, especially those in the audience, this presentation will be on our website probably right now, so if you'd like to download it later today, please feel free. Our mission is to provide decent, safe, affordable housing to low-income families, the elderly, and the disabled in the greater Chattanooga area. I say greater Chattanooga because in our public housing portfolio, which I'll talk in depth about a little bit later on, that's limited basically to the city limits of Chattanooga. Our HCBP program, our voucher program, commonly known as Section 8, can expand into the county, so we can go as far as the borders of Hamilton County. Governance, this is where you also have a role. We have a 7-member Board of Commissioners. You just met 3 today. Our board is appointed by the mayor with approval by City Council for 5-year terms. Currently, we have Mr. Eddie Holmes, Ms. Molly Cooper, Ms. Connie O'Neill, Mr. Wilbert Roberts, Ms. Betty Robinson, Mr. Jim Sattler, and Mr. Jim Steffes. I do have to say a special thank you. We have gone through trouble since I arrived in 2007 at the Housing Authority, and this board has been unwavering. They have attended many more meetings than they had to attend in their 1 meeting a month rule, 7 meetings a year rule, and they've worked tirelessly for this community. They're educators, developers, community activists, and have an array, finance folks, have an array of interests, but their common interest is that of low-income people in Chattanooga. I wanted to give you just an operation snapshot of where we are. Currently, we have 142 employees working in 18 locations throughout the city. In 2007, when we ran into our financial troubles, I believe the high number was 217 employees. We cut 36% of our staff to balance our budget, and we got, during my tenure, we've been as low as 130 employees. We've been fortunate in the last few years to receive some grant funding for some of the resident service activities from HUD. So now we're back up to 142 and providing a lot more services now in the way of educational opportunities and then that kind of softer service beyond the bricks and mortar. In 2011, we had a $39 million annual operating budget, and that money came from HUD. That includes both of our large programs, which is Housing Choice Voucher, as well as low-income public housing. We had a lot of media when we were going on the trouble list, but not so much when we were coming off. So I wanted to just say very proudly that the Housing Authority was removed from HUD's trouble list in late 2011. It's huge. We've come back from the brink of financial despair, and I'm only thankful to our board and staff and residents for bearing with us, and you for bearing with us through those difficult times. So on to the programs. I'd like first to talk about the Housing Choice Voucher Program. And as I said, most of the things I'm going to talk about are questions that I get routinely. First of all, the voucher. It's not a magical piece of paper. It's an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper that a person of very low and extremely low income gets that enables them to go out into the community to market rate units, to find a unit, and engage in a relationship with a market rate landlord. Right now, we have 3,288 vouchers in our kind of general portfolio for the vouchers. We expect an additional 230 in 2012 because of the Harriet Tubman disposition. Now, the 3,200 vouchers relates both to tenant-based vouchers and project-based vouchers. And I don't want to get too complicated, but I do think it's important for you to know the difference. A tenant-based voucher is one in the hand of the tenant, and it's considered a mobile voucher, whereby a person can go to any home in the community in Hamilton County and lease up, providing that everything works out. A project-based voucher is one that is awarded pursuant to an RFP, and voucher is attached to the bricks and mortar of the building. So when a tenant moves out, that subsidy stays with the building. Perfect example is up here on the hill at Dogwood. 116 or 120 of those vouchers are project-based vouchers. So they stay with the development regardless of the comings and goings of residents. We have 35 VASH vouchers. These are for veterans. We have 26 Shelter Plus Care for homeless, disabled.